BC-567-D1. Nickname Biggy Clone. Despite the nickname, BC-576 is not the first Biggy clone. BC-576 is a sentient Biggy clone that is friendly and acts similarly to a human. Despite this, he has the combined genes of all 6 major Biggies: Biggy, Yigib, Big Brine, Ender Biggy, Big Lich, and Caries. BC-576 has incredible multitasking skills, able to use his powers to his utmost ability. BC-576 is a public citizen and owns the Prangtig Bread Bakery establishment in Prangtig City, PT, Prangtig territory. Because of this, few experiments are conducted on BC-576 other than doctoral checkups to ensure his health. BC-576 does not require a containment. BC-787-D4. Nickname The Infected. BC-787 is an incredibly dangerous clone infected with an unknown substance tagged as BCO-787. BCO-787 is a black, sticky substance similar in properties to tar. BC-787 exhibits behavior similar to a zombie, in which it will attempt to infect others with BCO-787. Upon the substance coming into contact with another biological entity, it will attach itself onto it, slowly spreading it and taking over its host. All subjects that were turned by BCO-787 are able to be terminated, but BC-787 displays extreme resistance to any weapon contact. BC-787 attempts to avoid sunlight when possible. It also moves incredibly slowly in proximity to biological entities, but will become faster when alone. BC-787 makes odd, guttural noises to communicate, but is unable to with any English. It will communicate telepathically with BC-787B-D4. The soft, quiet hum of machinery will calm BC-787, but not BC-787B. In this state, BC-787 will maintain a schedule of sleeping and wandering, and will not attack unless provoked. This calm will only last as long as the machinery stays active. BC-787B-D4 is the codename for other infected, who exhibit most of the same symptoms as BC-787, but without ultra strength. BC-787 has multiple different containments, one in the main facility, and some spread out across the land. BC-787 should be contained near an always active machine or computer that makes noise, and preferably in a room without windows and with one secure door. BC-342-D1. Nickname The Ragdoll. BC-342 is an exact replica of Biggy in stature, shape, and size. However, it does not contain any organs or bones. BC-342 is immobile and cannot move on its own, and whether it is sentient or not is unknown. It is, however, structurally sound, and there have been multiple unsuccessful attempts to dissect it or tear it apart. Any projectile fired at BC-342 will not penetrate its structure, but will rather absorb the kinetic energy put into it. BC-342 is contained within a small storage room behind a locked door. BC-202-D4. Nickname Dark Biggy. BC-202 is a form of Biggy imbued with more than lethal amounts of dark energy. He has red eyes and purple skin. BC-202 demonstrates proficiency in many forms of combat. The clone also has incredible flexibility and dexterity. IQ testing showed a score of about 126. The clone does not usually follow any orders, and most testing has to be forced out of him. BC-202 was contained within an aluminum steel alloy chamber with nothing but a bed and a feeding slot. His method of escape has been researched, and many containment chambers have been improved due to the incident. As of today, BC-202 is rumored to reside in Prangtig National Park. A recontainment mission is planned, but is currently postponed. BC-531-D2. Nickname The Memoir. BC-531 is unique in the fact that it changes form to the most important memory the person has of Biggy, and appears different for every person. The form can change between sightings as well. If a person has no recollectable memory of Biggy, then BC-531 will simply appear as a shadow and cannot be interacted with. BC-531 has shown that it has all of Biggy's memories itself, even though that it was created years ago and has been locked in its chamber since. Numerous attempts have been made by BC-531 to escape, and it has come close multiple times due to impersonation. BC-531 is generally not dangerous unless it is given a more sinister memory. BC-531 is contained within a concrete chamber with no doors or windows except for a single removable portion of concrete large enough for a person to enter. Entrance is forbidden unless for research purposes. BC-001-D1. File obsoleted January 23, 2009. Nickname Yigib. BC-001 is the first Biggy clone created when Biggy split a section of DNA that was oppified. Therefore, the clone is the opposite of Biggy. However, BC-001, it prefers to be called Yigib, is friendly and amenable to research. Both Biggy and Yigib have bonded well and have often spent time together. BC-001 went rogue on Redacted after what Biggy recalls was a harsh conversation. BC-001 is to be contained in Redacted. BC-001 is not to be recovered in any way, shape, or form. Any attempts to do so will result in Redacted. This file is not to be opened by anyone. Biggy. BC-785-D3. Nickname none, but it refers to itself as BI-13. BC-785 is not a clone. It is an extra-dimensional entity that somehow found its way here. It possesses knowledge of a universe completely different from our own, and it also refers to itself as BI-13 and does not appreciate being called anything else. The appearance of BC-785 is described below. Data expunged. BC-785 is held in the extra-dimensional wing in a standard cell. It is allowed to have amenities such as books, cards, etc. Under no circumstances should BC-785 ever come in contact with computers, especially ones with the internet. If this happens, Operation Zephyr is to begin as soon as possible. BC-785 is to be fed different combinations of BCO-785A, BCO-785B, and BCO-785C. These BCOs are to be grown nearby. BC-785 will have 3 meals a day, each every 8 hours. Data expunged, and data expunged. BC-1201-D1. Nickname The Television. BC-1201-D1 is not a clone, nor is it living at all. In fact, it is a styled 80s CRT television set with an attached VCR player. The television, depending on what tape is inserted, will play memories of Biggy's life. Episodes will replay over and over again, and it is believed that there is around 30 to 40 per tape, each aligning with a season of the show. BC-1201-D1 has an incredible amount of tapes, all of which show Biggy's life from birth until the present day. New tapes are recorded every so often and aligned to Biggy's memory. However, these tapes show much more than just the episode. There is usually time before and after the episode where conversations happen between characters and Biggy, nor do other interrogated characters have any knowledge of the events outside of the actual episode, which is referred to as RP or roleplay by the characters outside of the episodes. Addendum. After substantial experimentation, it has been found that characters in these episodes also have tapes. Simply showing their face to BC-1201 while the VCR is empty will begin to create tapes. Some have longer tapes than others, and all show events from the episodes, and not every character is present in every episode. While not necessarily a Biggy clone, it was given to them under their protection as the safest place known to man. Subsequently, BC-202-D4 escaped a month after BC-1201-D1 was brought into the facility. Also, the classification of BC-1201-D1 has been brought up multiple times, but seeing as it is the only thing like it currently present in the collection, it will stay under the classification until more items like it are found. Addendum. It should be stated that Biggy Clone Facility experts are entirely divided on the matter on whether BC-1201-D1's tapes are of reality. Any substantial evidence pointing towards other side is yet to be stated, and it will likely remain that way. BC-1200-D3. Nickname The Final Clone, or Project Reverse Engineer, or One Last Shot. BC-1200-D1 was the final attempt to create any sort of clone. After this, the program would move on to researching the existing Biggy clones. BC-1200-D1, rather than being directly cloned as had been done in the past, would be cloned by sequencing Biggy's genome and creating each piece separately. The project is to be spearheaded by Dr. Harry Magnuson, who has been lobbying for this project since he was initially hired 10 years ago. Addendum 1131. Project Reverse Engineer has started. Progress, even within our first day, has been truly awe-inducing. Biggy's genome is truly a wonder of the world. We now monitor the organs and body parts growing for 1 week. Addendum 1831. All of the parts have grown quite successfully, I must say. This week we begin the process of attaching them in a sterilized tube. If we're lucky, we can begin adding the blood afterwards. Addendum 1:1531. Progress has slowed. We have sewn all the parts together as planned, and we have begun transfusing the blood into the body. As far as we are currently monitoring, the heart is beating and the body is alive. So far, so good. Addendum 1:2231. We have induced consciousness within BC-1200-D1. One of the semi-intended side effects is that the body itself would choose to either have XX or XY chromosomes. In this case, it is chosen XY. If that means anything for Biggy, I do not know. Some of my co-workers have expressed disgust now that we seem to be getting closer to the final result, and they have been punished accordingly. Addendum 12931. BC-1200-D1 will be let out for 2 days from now, and will begin a series of physical and mental training to bring her up to speed with her adult age. Addendum 13131. This addendum is written by Dr. Adams rather than Dr. Magnuson. By technicality, Project Reverse Engineer has been a success. However, upon the release of BC-1200-D3 into the world, she went into a manic frenzy. I, as well as many others, saw Dr. Magnuson intentionally inject her with anesthetic and run off with her. Their whereabouts currently unknown. I figure Dr. Magnuson wishes to continue the project in private with whatever up his he plans to do to turn her into his doll. Hopefully, BC-1200-D3 can be contained under our supervision sooner rather than later, although I do not believe that likely myself. Addendum 13135. BC-1200-D3 is now classified to Level 6 personnel and above. Any mention of the event outside of authorized discussion will be met with serious punishment. The hunt is still on. Biggy.